Over the past day and a half, I've spent 10 hours reselling and bought all this inventory, which isn't even the half of it. And since we live in a van, we can't just have all of our inventory strewn about where we live. At least we don't want that to be the case, right?
Yes.
So between all of these bags, and what we have a couple bins deep here, I have by far my most profitable shipment ever. And let's talk through the numbers and the rates per hour as we work through the whole shipment, which is a lot of units, and I'm hoping it takes less than 6 hours, even though I have stickers on every single one of these items. Here are the totals. We spent $3,281.72, and we should make over 100% ROI, $3,378.92. Chris is gonna go on a run, and I'm gonna try to start taking a bunch of these tags off, but we are gonna have to drive an hour and a half tonight, because we're right now in Dallas, Texas, and we're gonna be in Waco tomorrow. 4:42 now, let's see how long this shipment takes.
This is not a long run. It is a speed workout, so it'll only be like 30 minutes.
Scratch everything I just said. I think I'm just gonna do a little bit of organizing first, and we can submit our shipment to Amazon. One of the reasons this shipment is so profitable is because I recently got my reseller certificate, meaning that I don't have to pay sales tax in most states. There are a couple states that aren't reciprocal with Florida and won't take out of state sales tax certificates, but just on this $3,200 alone, I've saved $250. That's just gonna stay in my pocket instead of being a cost of sales tax. But the first step for any shipment, since we already put the buy list in while we're in the store, is reviewing the batch down here and getting our shipments from Amazon. My shipments might look a little bit different than some people's because I personally do manufacturer barcodes. So if I don't have to put my own label on it, I won't do that. That's especially good because I have a lot of Columbia clothes that are very similar, just different in sizes. And I'm pretty sure they'll use the manufacturer barcode system, so I won't have to directly label each specific size. I've already updated the address to where we're going to be shipping from in Waco, and we can see that I have two different shipments, one that's no label and one that's seller label. That's because Amazon's API sends Inventory Lab two different feeds, depending on if you need to put a label on it or if you can just send it in with the manufacturer barcode. But we'll just create these shipments, and then I'm going to organize my products based on the shipment so that we can get them done one at a time and make our lives a little easier. Honestly, I had no idea kind of how to tackle this, and I think Chris is almost back. It's been just under half an hour. It's 5:11. Pretty much what I'm doing is taking the stuff that I'm gonna have to label versus the stuff that I'm not gonna have to label. So what I have to label is here, everything that's on the ground over there, and a few more items that I'm putting in these small boxes just to kind of set apart. And then everything else we're gonna put somewhere else, and I think we'll work on the seller label shipment first because that'll probably take a little longer. But I don't know, all of these are no labels, and I'm gonna have to polybag every single one of those, even though those will make me a ton of money. So let's hope I can get this done and not waste too much time after Krista gets back. And we'll talk about the stores that I bought everything from and how I did it and some mistakes that I made along the way. Okay, luckily Krista's seat is good. All this stuff on the floor are all the stuff that I'm gonna have to label and delabel myself. I think it's gonna be like 4 medium boxes, maybe 5 small boxes, because it's probably gonna get too heavy because I have a lot of Tylenols. That's the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about before we head over to the next spot. So many of these freaking things. Normally when I'm buying inventory, especially stuff that I haven't sold before, I'll try to pick up less than like 10 or 15 of them unless I'm getting a seriously good deal, or the sales rank is so low that I'm very confident that if I get any share of the buy box, they'll sell out within a month. The difference with these guys is the sales rank's pretty good, but these Tylenol specifically, I bought at Ollies before. They expire in September 2022, so they still have enough time. And I bought 18 of them, and they all sold out within like a week and a half. So I picked up 60 some of these, and then there were 2 other colors, 2 other types, and I picked up like as many of those as I could, so 50 of one and I think 20 of another. Normally, I wouldn't be doing that, except I have the capital. I should make about 100% return on investment on all of that, and I'm pretty sure that they're gonna sell within a month, so I definitely pulled the trigger on that. Let me finish organizing the rest of this stuff up so that we can actually drive the hour and a half that we need to drive. Then once Carissa gets back and we get to the other place, we can actually start a shipment, and I'll talk about where I bought all these things and a couple other tips that I have. It's 5:30, so it took us just under an hour, I believe, to get everything done. Yeah, 50 minutes. So I'm thinking that my little 5-hour guess might be a little bit short, especially with how much we have to do in the shipment. So dinner is definitely on my Amazon business tonight.
Woo!
They're closed inside, and we can't drive through because that. Does this mean that we have to deduct $20 from the profit?
You tell me.
So we made it to our house, aka Walmart. 7:52, so we'll see how much we can get done by midnight. While you're hopefully watching me finish up everything from the first shipment, which is the ones that I'm actually gonna have to label, I want to tell you about where I actually got all these products from. It was actually only 4 stores. It was 1 Ollies, 2 Academies, and 1 Marshalls. And because of some things that I've been updating with how I source, I was able to spend over $500 at every single store, averaging $1,000 at the academies as well. What's interesting is I actually was taking my time a lot more with this sourcing than I have been, especially as you've been seeing the 1-hour challenge videos on my channel, and that allowed me to really dig into every single aisle and not miss products, and I bet I've walked past tons and tons of profit as I've been doing those videos, so I'm not sure if that's the best way to actually resell. Just trying to go as fast as you possibly can, because I spent twice as long and spent about 10 times as much just because I was able to be a little bit more methodical. So hopefully in some future future videos, I'll be able to show that as well. But obviously, specifically with this Ollie stuff, you have to make sure that the expiration date is more than 90 days from when it's going to get to the fulfillment center. And I do have a story to tell you about that, hopefully now, as you're seeing me finish up this box. No, not that. You dingus. Well, that took a hot minute. 4 boxes total, probably about 160, 170 pounds. And let's go ahead and print out the labels for it, because right now it's 11:44 p.m. So it took us almost 4 hours to do that one shipment. The next one I think should be sooner, because I don't actually have to label anything, so we can put these labels away. I just have to take all the labels off, but there's so much more poly bagging because it's all apparel. Because of that, I am sure that I'm going to have a lot more returns than I normally do. And honestly, unfortunately, I was kind of letting that excuse make me not pick up apparel items or look for them. I'm just realizing the amount of money that I'm able to spend and the potential profit I can make is so significant with it that even if I triple what my return rate is, I'll still make so much more money in such a smaller amount of time that it's so worth it to do apparel, at least at these Academy clearance sales that I've been going to. So while I switch this out, let me tell you about what happened at Ollies. If you don't know, Ollies Bargain Market, which is what all these stickers are from, is a place that I did not like going to a lot until I started getting ungated in topicals and like supplements and stuff like that, which is why I was able to get all that Tylenol. And most of the stuff that I bought there was sort of topical stuff, creams and shampoos and deodorants. In that same aisle, I was looking at some like pomade for your hair, and I got so excited because it was $3.99 I thought, and you would get back like $7 from it, and that was at the FBM price. At the FBA price, I could probably get back 8 or 9. And so I started opening every single can, and it took me about 20 minutes, and I got about 25 of them, went through a total of 60 just opening, making sure that no fingers were in them, because there were a lot of people who stuck their finger in, which is really dumb. But after that, I realized, hey, I'm at Ollie's, I should probably check the expiration, and it expires next month. So I went from making an extra $150 to having wasted 25 minutes of my time. So always check the expiration dates first thing when you're at Ollie's and you find a profitable product. So now I'm going to print out the labels for this. And Carissa, what do you think about shipment for tonight? Should I finish, or you want to go to bed so you're not up till 3 or 4?
You can finish.
You think so? You think you'll be able to sleep? Really?
I slept through your other one you did at night.
Well, looks like we're going to finish tonight because I have it shipping from Waco, and tomorrow night we're going to be in Austin, past Waco, and that's not good. Let me clean this all up, put the labels on the boxes, and hopefully we're done by 3 o'clock.
You also don't have to do it.
There's like half of it. So I kind of forgot how much stuff I have left. Luckily, we don't need to label anything. Just take off a bunch of labels, throw some stuff in poly bags, box it up. Hopefully it's a 2-hour job. So one of the reasons why I think I was able to buy so much this round and only 10 hours of sourcing is, first off, Academy's having sales. Every quarter, they'll do a sale, I think at the end of the quarter, where they'll just clear a bunch of inventory. It starts off like it is now, where everything is just marked as it's tagged. But in 1 or 2 weeks, they'll adjust it to 25% off that clearance price, then 50% off, then 75% off. So as long as I can keep going to Academies as we're traveling throughout Texas, and hopefully there are some in the rest of the Southwest, but I kind of doubt it, I'll be going to them and getting more and more discounts, because I would still pick up all the same stuff, but I would spend half as much, which would mean my profit would be 33% more. But it does stink, because normally when I buy from Academy, they don't have tagged items, but now they have a bunch of tags on them, which I had to take off, and I have to worry about polybagging everything. A lot of stuff doesn't actually say that you need to polybag it when you look on Amazon. The prep type says not applicable, but if it's something that's clothing, I still want to polybag it. But it is good that these are all closed, because it should be relatively light, meaning I can fit a lot into one of those medium boxes and not worry about going over the 50-pound mark. Hoping that this doesn't take up more than 3 or 4 boxes though, because my van is getting full of them. It got a little late, 4:23, but all this is done. Just gotta print out the label, clean up, and I'll see you tomorrow. We'll go over all the totals, but hopefully I can get more than 4 hours of sleep. Alright, time to drop them all off. Oh my gosh, it's wild. Thank you very much. That was intense. So, I forgot to film this part for like 3 days. And don't worry, we did get a good amount of sleep, and I feel like I'm all rested now. So let's quickly go over the numbers. So here's what we're looking at for total spend. We have 2 Academies, the Marshalls, and the Ollies, like I talked about. At the first Academy, we spent the most I've ever spent at a single store. It was actually $1,100 and something, but I will have some returns to make because one of the tags didn't come off correctly. So I spent $1,062.20, $528.56 for Marshalls. The second Academy, we only spent $811. Saying only is a little bit weird with that. And then Ollie's was $847.73. So in total, for this shipment, our cost of goods sold was $3,249.78. But that's only one part of the shipment and does not give the full picture for the details. So we have total items, SKUs, which are the number of different items. So all 53 of those Tylenol were one SKU. Average sales rank, which tells you how fast everything sells. If it's under 200,000, I'm normally pretty happy because of the categories that I sell in, which are mostly sports and outdoors. The total sales value is kind kind of important because that helps you to determine your net margin. Then your cost of goods sold, when you subtract that from your sales value, as well as the Amazon fees, you'll get the potential profit that we have here. And then we'll talk about the ROI. This is what those numbers look like. We had 580 total items, which for a $3,000 shipment is not as many as I would have expected because I was starting to spend so much more money in terms of dollars, which helped me to make so much more profit. 166 different SKUs, so different items that we had. So I'm really glad that we didn't have to label everything because that would have taken so much more time. The average sales rank was 141,519, which is pretty good. And I think I should sell probably about 60 to 80% of my inventory in the first month, which is really good because the total sales value is $10,536.06. Our cost of goods sold, like we said, was $3,249, so less than a third of the sales value. And our potential profit is about 33% of the sales value of $3,349.82, bringing our return on investment to 103% on $3,200 of cost of goods sold. Now, those type of margins are stuff that you're probably only likely to see with retail arbitrage. If you're doing online arbitrage, maybe you can do that if you find coupon deals or stuff like that. But the beautiful thing about this shipment is if you watch this video where I break down how I allocate all of my funds from Amazon payouts and how you should too, you'll know that this $10,500 sales number is going to be more than the sales that I need every single month to pay myself. But if you're a beginner on Amazon, I would watch this video where I break down how I would use a $2,000 credit card to jumpstart my Amazon business, what stores and categories I would go to, as well as what I would look for when finding products. See you there.